And this is a follow-up video. She had to extend it again because her internet went down. Oh, I hadn't heard about that Airday. Okay, so she had to extend. I know she's planning on doing an extra day because of it, but I guess she's had to extend it again. But but apparently this video just came out today where she is speaking out regarding the hate raid. So I have no idea how in depth this is going to go, but if it's basically her speaking out about what happened, I'm interested. I want to hear about this. So again, I'm interested in this because it hits me on two different levels. It hits me on a VTuber level, and it hits me on someone that is not just using, shall we say, a naked microphone to stream because I use my voice changer. So that's why I'm taking a very keen interest in this situation. And well, let's see what she has to say.
Okay, so it seems that we've got an update on the whole entire Zentraa situation. Now, if you don't know, we actually covered them a couple of days ago, or even just yesterday, actually, over a kind of situation that happened of them actually getting a ton of kind of hatred.
Hang on. Because I know he is not going to move and we're not going to get much of a shift. I will come over here for this video so he can be seen. Because I know that not a lot of movement on this stuff.
A ton of notifications, a ton of messages towards them, and it seemed very, very horrible. I mean, they had to end their entire stream, and she, even went onto Twitter to say that they were being attacked and everything like that. And it's obviously horrible as a whole that this is even happening to them in the first place. Now, I just want to kind of make this video because there's a little bit of a follow-up on this and talking about how Zentraa is doing now, and, has this actually affected her subathon at all? Has this affected her?
Wait, Aradine? Who got hate for calling Niara they them? Whom are you referring to? Zentraa? Kazahana. Him. Oh, he got hate. Okay, I wasn't sure who you were referencing. Oh, he got hate for calling Niara they them. Okay. I mean, you know how I feel when it comes to the they them thing itself, but I'm not gonna. But if someone else wants to use that descriptor, I'm not going to bash on anybody that chooses to refer to someone as they, them. I'm not going to, they can do whatever the fuck they want. I'm not going to try to impose my will on anybody about this. Nor should anyone else for that matter. Yeah, and Aradine, that is the logical thing. We're going off topic here, but real quick, agree. It's using they, them when you simply don't know. That's kind of the whole purpose of it. That's kind of the whole reason that usage of they them exists, is when you don't know, you say they them. Yeah, no, it's Aradane is fine. Stuff like that happens to me all the time.
Is doing now, and has this actually affected her subathon at all? Has this affected her in terms of streaming at all? And I think it's pretty good to say that it hasn't really affected her that much, and we're actually seeing Zentraa come back to streaming. Now, I kind of want to go through some of the kind of statistics and stuff that has come out since then, and just to go through some of the support that Zentraa has been seeing, as well as a kind of slight response from Zentraa as well to a lot of the situation. And yeah, as you know, they made a tweet and everything, and they were saying they were getting kind of bombarded with threats and things in their notifications, which obviously made them end stream early, which is absolutely horrible. And I wish no one ever, obviously is subject to that. And this obviously comes off the back of a lot of different things, and people were speculating many different reasons behind why this might be the case. For example, they were recently featured on a stream charts post where essentially they were shown as the top female streamer.
This is nothing new
on Twitch, and that is obviously due to the fact of them streaming like 147 hours. So of course they're going to be one of the top most viewed ones, because obviously, yeah, they've been streaming an awful lot, and they do deserve to be up there, especially if you are putting in those.
Subathon, thank you for the gift, Thank you so much. And Diabolos, thank you for the follow as well.
hours. And I think that potentially that obviously gave them a lot of attention, and also probably had a lot of people angry because, again, you know, it's kind of you know, disappointing to say, but there's a lot of people that really dislike VTubers out there. And I've made a whole video on this before, kind of talking about Iron Mouse and the hatred that she's been getting, despite her being, you know, one of the most innocent people on planet Earth. You know, she has not done anything wrong to provoke this. And the same goes for Zentraa as well. I haven't seen any kind of controversy or anything like that that would provoke, you know, someone to be so horrible to someone like this, but it has still happened, and it could potentially be due to them just being a VTuber, and they're not happy that they beat out their flesh tuber of on stream charts. But also,
and that was my suspicion too. That's what I said when we watched the video yesterday, is that is one very likely reason why Zentraa got predated. She's a VTuber, and she beat out every other flesh tuber for being the top streamer for the last week of June. And that pissed off a lot of people. They're like, oh, you beat out my streamer, I hate you, because you're not even, they basically don't think that she's a real girl. That's one reason. People, for God knows how long, that, you know, VTubers that use female avatars are not considered women. They're not considered real women or real girls. And Zentraa, unfortunately, also has a double tap in this respect, because Zentraa uses the TTS for when she talks. And so it's basically a double whammy of, oh, you beat out my favorite streamer when you're just an anime cyber red dragon who doesn't even use their real voice and uses TTS. Oh, it's brigade time. So she had coming at from two different directions. Yeah. Oh yeah, Vinyl Richie. Yes. VTubers are taking over. IRL streamers, we're here, we're popular, and we're not going away. What was it that one VTuber said? I will be young and beautiful forever. Age is going to dry your pussies up and destroy your eggs while you get old and wrinkly, and nobody's going to follow you anymore because you're an ugly egg. I'll be young and beautiful forever.
There's other kind of factors as well. For example, like Zentraa leaving VShojo. Obviously, some people might be angry at that, you know, at that happening, or maybe it could be some other fans from other places trying to stir the pot a little bit in terms of drama and stuff like that. And obviously, that does happen quite a bit. People posing as other people to stir the pot.
Okay, hang on, I got pause. Vera, yeah, I imagine, I haven't actually watched any Zen stuff. Truth be told, I actually don't watch a lot of VTubers. Not because I don't like them, but that's just a me thing. But yeah, I imagine, like, yeah, the mispronunciations through the TTS for certain words and names gets all wonky. I imagine as part of the term, it's kind of like how you guys love my squeaks. You guys, you know, how you guys tell me you love my squeaks. Kind of the same thing.
But again, we just don't know where this is coming from. We still don't have any confirmation of where a lot of these threats and where a lot of this harassment has come from towards Zentraa. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's terrible to see that she's been subject to this, you know, for all of this time. Now, obviously, Zentraa actually put out this, you know, tweet essentially saying not going anywhere. And I think this is actually a really good response just to it, because obviously she didn't actually make a full, like, kind of long-winded response about, like, oh, this is terrible, please don't do this. Like, no, she kind of skipped that and just went, we're not going anywhere, we're back live. They quickly actually posted a you know, another post saying back to the grind, go, with a link to her Twitch, and she's actually live right now over on Twitch for about 1,300 viewers on the I'm only sleeping category, which is kind of insane. I mean, yeah, that amount of support to have over 1,000 viewers while you're sleeping is crazy. And obviously, looking at Twitch tracker, there hasn't been any noticeable boost of kind of viewership or anything like that. It's been kind of around the same. So again, there hasn't been any kind of growth in terms of that. But I still think, you know, people have been very supportive, which is great to see. And again, whenever this first actually broke out, she never actually specified whether
Oh, did it,
this
Zeb?
was on
Oh.
Twitch chat, whether this was on Twitter DMs. They just said that their notifications were getting blown up. So that makes me think it was on a different platform and wasn't actually on Twitch itself. But obviously, it really sucks whenever you're doing something like a subathon, and it's really difficult as, you know, you're getting bombarded with things like this. But at the same time, it also...
Oh, was that? Oh, did she have a VOD up in the background during her I'm Only Sleeping? She had like one of her VODs. Okay, so while she was sleeping, she was writing some old VODs in the background. Okay, and it errored out. That's unfortunate.
Also trying to deal with a subathon. You know, it's not just a regular stream. I think a lot of people don't really realize that. It's the fact that, you know, for a regular stream, someone could have this happen to them and they'll be like, okay, I'll end stream, I'll come back later if things are better, or they'll just end stream for the day or whatever. But obviously this is a subathon where, you know, you ideally, through any kind of circumstance, need to keep the stream going. But obviously it was a little bit too much and, you know, she had to end up ending the stream. But thankfully they did actually say that they were going to add on some extra time near the end of the stream. And obviously they are now back. They're saying day 29 of 30 of Zenathon. So again, yeah, they're just redoing the day, I'm pretty sure. So that's really good to see. And obviously, hopefully, you know, there's only one more day left. So I'm hoping that there's a lot of support behind that and that they're going to send a lot of subs over. Obviously, as you can see above me, they've...
And by the way, I want to point this out. I have a tremendous amount of respect for streamers that do subathons like this. The amount of mental exhaustion streamers must go through when doing subathons like this must be... I have an incredible difficulty in imagining just the level of, like, how often does their mind just go blank and they just go, I have no idea what the fuck I should do now. And they're streaming for like 12, 15, 16 hours. JRC, I don't know if Kitty's is still going. Did she finally, Zeb? Okay, thank God she finally put a card cap on it. Because I think she's into like day 25, I think. I'm reasonably sure that Kippy is into day 25 of her subathon. Oh my, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you so much. And like me, I cannot imagine streaming like 16 hours before finally getting some sleep with a subathon. I cannot fathom that. Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot, Dragon. Sorry. I forgot. And hello. It's because that's the key. That's the crux of it. Is you've got to keep the string entertaining. You know, it's there. I have to imagine that so many streamers like hit a wall and just kind of go, fuck, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to say. I am completely drawing a blank and I don't know what to do. And it's just that streaming for that many consecutive hours has got to be so draining. And I have so much respect for those streamers that can do this for so many days for this subathon. I have an incredible amount of respect. No, Zeb, no, I realized I said what I... Remember what I said? I said for like 12, 15, 16 hours. Yes, I do realize that at some point these streamers do go to sleep and actually get some sleep and switch to the I'm Only Sleeping. I'm fully aware of that. But still, doing like 15, 16 hours straight has got to be mentally exhausting. No, yes, I know. It's... But for the time when they're live, when they're on stream and actually being active in the subathon, that's what I'm talking about. You know, we're nitpicking here. This is a bit of a nitpick. I'm just talking about the amount of times when they're active on stream, not the I'm Only Sleeping. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When they're active, trying to stay entertaining, trying to stay engaging, try to keep having fun. That's what I'm talking about. And I just, my hat's off to the streamers that do this. Like, I don't know if I'll ever do a subathon. I legitimately don't know if there will ever come a time. I definitely can't do a subathon now. I literally do not have the time to do a subathon because it's like the amount of time that I'm streaming right now is like the only free time I have on any given day outside of working. So it's like, I have no idea if or when I might actually even attempt a subathon. And for those that do, you have my respect. Bravo.
Gotten 54,000 subscribers on Twitch, which is actually pretty mental. But knowing Twitch's ad revenue split at the moment, that's probably like 2 pence, which kind of sucks. But obviously, yeah,
No,
54,000.
54,000 subs is significant. That's say what you will about Twitch's cut on it. 54,000 subs is significant in terms of revenue. That's a lot.
It's absolutely incredible. So obviously there's been a lot of support in terms of that as well. And obviously, as we can see over on r/vshoujo as well, people saying there's a lot of love and support for Zentraa at the moment, saying Zen got a lot of hate yesterday after it came out that she is the number one female streamer for this month. Leave her some love. And obviously, yeah, they're saying, what the hell is wrong with people? To be honest, I don't know. This also happened to Iron Mouse, and it is still happening to Iron Mouse. I think this is something that people just forget. Obviously, I made a video about this as well, literally shortly after that Zentraa video. It's the fact that, Iron Mouse and people like that are still facing a lot of harassment online, especially over on TikTok and places like that, to this day. Literally, like a TikTok that was released a couple of days ago was the one that I covered in that video, and they were still being thrown under the bus, which I think is absolutely horrible. And I think that, obviously Iron Mouse still gets a lot of hatred online for absolutely no reason.
Well, no, the reason she gets the hate online is because she is very popular, and people are butthurt that a cute anime girl is more popular than their favorite IRL streamer. It's honestly that simplistic. Realistically, it is that simplistic, is that they hate that the anime girls are more popular than the flesh tubers that they follow and are dedicated to. There's that. It's honestly, it's not that much more complicated than that, because they don't see the VTubers. Again, to these people, VTubers are not real people. They don't view people like me, people like Zentraa, people like Kippy, people like Twee, people like Numi. They don't view us as real people. They see the anime, they see the VTuber model. They don't even they don't consider the person behind the model. They don't consider the person behind the screen and on the microphone. They're not a real person. And they also dislike the fact that the VTuber in question that is so popular is popular because of their sheer personality. That's what they don't like. Whereas the flesh tuber that they follow has to, I've said this yesterday, the IRL streamer that they follow, particularly if it's a female IRL streamer, has to spend an hour or two before every stream making themselves look beautiful so that they can actually retain their audience and get their subs and get their donos and get their biddies, because they have to look pretty, and that's the only way they can retain their audience. Whereas a VTuber, double-click VTube Studio, hello! So that's why they're pissed off, because VTubers found the metric to stream and be successful, and actually be successful on the basis of the person that they are, their personality, their mind, not simply their looks. And they fucking hate it. They hate that VTubers actually have better personalities and better minds that draw people in more than their favorite IRL streamer, who only trades on their looks.
as I said, Zentraa, Iron Mouse, a lot of these people have never actually done anything to provoke this, but obviously due to the fact of them being a VTuber, or due to the fact of them being different, it's just like, okay, they're gonna go ahead and hate on them, which I think is just so wrong and weird. They said, yeah, bro, some people think behind the screen and keyboard gives them the right to do stuff like this, bro, and with Mousy, it's just shaking my head. These girls are so strong. Hope Zen is good and she takes care of herself, which, yeah, definitely is true. And I think that, obviously, you know, whenever it comes to this VTuber harassment stuff that has been going on, especially recently, and it's also happened to other people like Giga, obviously leaving as well.
Well, and J10, the same would apply to Fillion too, in terms of the dedication to using full body tracking as much as both of them do. Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure Alana is pretty I don't know, but I think Alana has really made the jump into going full body tracking for almost every stream now. That's starting to, is Kitsa doing it too? Okay, Kitsa. Yeah, it seems like many of VTubers are starting to go the route of full body tracking these days. Now, I don't think I will. Realistically, I don't see myself going full body tracking with my VTubing, at least in the near future. Just not something I plan on doing. And Death Disciple, thank you for the follow. Oh, and God, how do I pronounce this? Belch Ev Dimoset. Thank you for the follow also. I should move over. I keep getting covered up by my alerts. Move over a little bit so I'm not getting covered up by alerts so much.
There was some kind of harassment coming their way as well. I think it is due to the fact of the like extreme disconnect that some people have whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. I think, you know, you have the disconnect behind someone behind a, you know, keyboard and a screen, thinking they can say whatever they want about another person, or thinking they can do whatever they want to another person. But I think also the disconnect of them having a VTuber model, not knowing them actually personally, and just seeing a PNG on their screen, I think that gives them even more disconnect and makes them think that it's even more okay to do this, when obviously it's not okay, because there is a real person behind that screen who's getting real threats, who is getting real harassment, and obviously it, you know, turns into something like the Zentraa situation, or even the Iron Mouse situation, which happened a couple of months ago. And it's just terrible to see that, you know, this is still something that is going on, and people can't comprehend the fact that these are real people that, you know, obviously see this. They say, how parasocial?
It's, again, I don't think it's that they can't comprehend that these are real people. They don't want to comprehend it. Because for them, it makes doing the heinous shit that they do, like hate bombing Zentraa on stream, it makes doing that easier when they don't see them as people. It is a choice not to see them as people. It's not that they are unable to. They actively choose not to. And not free targets, Revan. I use this expression for it. They see them as soft targets. Because you notice Zen didn't clap back. The only thing Zen did was she said, I'm still here. And that's it. But she didn't really do a clap back. So they view people like Zen, who won't actively call people out on their bullshit, and who are, generally speaking, very kind and sweet people, they view them as soft targets. No, answer me. I'm not giving them any credit for conscientiousness at all. I legitimately think that they choose not to see them as real people because it makes it easier. They do like their mental gymnastics not to see them as real people, so it makes it easier to just hate on them. That's just like one facet of why of what allows them to just spew hatred at individuals.
Do you have to be to hate on someone for being successful because it means your streamer loses a crown? God, I hate Twitch, certain Twitch fans. And yeah, I do definitely think that, you know, a lot of this actually kind of, you know, aligns more with the whole Iron Mouse stuff in terms of the general Twitch community hating on VTubers. I've got a video coming up very soon on Twitch, actually kind of mistreating a lot of VTubers, and I've talked about this before with like Lucy Pyer, LEVT, and so many other people as well, being kind of mistreated by Twitch, being banned, being taken off the platform, which I think is so stupid. And obviously it seems like Twitch does have a very big agenda against VTubers, and obviously the community doing this doesn't help the situation at all either. And they keep on
most to your point about it being a means of privacy and separation of lives, that's basically it. That's why that's why I'm a VTuber, and that's why I use a voice changer. It is, amongst other things, I've said it before, I absolutely hate the sound of my voice, and that's one reason for the voice changer. But the other one, and the reason why I VTube, is because to maintain my privacy. Is I've seen, before I even started VTubing, I saw the kind of shit that streamers went through where they would get doxxed, people would come after the family, make their lives hell. And it's to protect myself. It's to protect myself and protect the people that I love so they don't get caught in the crossfire. JRC, not really. Honestly, I really don't. I get the occasional comment on my YouTube videos about the whole guy with a voice changer thing. I do get the occasional comment. I really don't get a lot of haters just trying to tear me down, honestly. I haven't seen it. So
going saying other stuff, people replying to this saying unfortunately, yes, I only know what's going on because someone explained it to me under the tweet. It's absolutely sad. Zen showed it in the stream that she's number one, then came the loser. Wait, into chat or into just Twitter. Either way, it's so dumb. I don't like to theorize and guess, but I'm assuming they're like Emery fans. Now, I don't think that is true. I feel like Emery fans are actually some of the...
No, I'm with him on that. I do not see it be this. I don't think any of the people that came after Zentraa are people from Emeru's community. I don't. Emeru is a sweetheart, and she fosters that kind of community. It's probably from maybe it's from some of the streamers that were lower on the top tier list. In that monthly tier, that week tier list for the last week of June. If it came from any of the streamers in that list, it would have been those on the lower rungs that did it. Not Emmy. Emmy, definitely not from... I would bet that none of them came from her community.
Most receptive to VTubers due to the amount of collaborations that she's done with VTubers. I think that's kind of disingenuous, and that is kind of speculative to speculate that kind of stuff. Again, that's why I've avoided in all of these videos, especially after looking at that stream chart thing, to kind of point the finger at a certain fan base. I don't think it necessarily is, this fan base or that fan base. We never know. And again, it's one of those things that maybe it is, but I honestly would heavily doubt it due to the fact of her involvement with VTubers in the past and the amount that her community supports this kind of stuff. I mean, there is a big crossover in their community. Like, compared to some of the other female streamers in that list, there is much more of a crossover between Emeru's audience and VTubers than there is for some of those other ones, which obviously makes me think that potentially it's not them, but obviously maybe it could be, because there are some crazy people out there. But again, we don't actually know. And they said it's definitely not just Emery fans. There's a large amount of people who just vehemently hate VTubers, which, yeah, definitely is true. This has been stepping up over the past couple of weeks to months. Like, it's been a thing for a very, very long time. Obviously, since the start of VTubing, it's been a thing, but I think it's been stepping up recently for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but I have seen an increased amount of hatred towards VTubers, and I just don't get why people feel the need to do stuff like this, especially using bots, using AI and things like that to actually...
Well, and there it is right there, the use of bots and AI. It seems like it's stepping up, but because there's a use of bots or AI, it can give the appearance that it's stepping up. So individuals that know how to utilize bots effectively can make it seem like there's an increase in attacks against VTubers, when in reality, they're just basically sending a fuck ton of bots out and giving the appearance that, oh, there's a massive hate campaign on VTubers, when it's really just a handful of people slinging out hundreds or thousands of bots. So I'm not necessarily convinced that there is an increased hate for VTubers over A. Zen, I don't know how much of the attack on her was through bots. Hers was a significant campaign, but generally speaking, there's always going to be people that hate VTubers for whatever reason that might be. Whatever reason it is, and quite frankly, I don't care what it is. But I don't think we've seen a dramatic increase in this hate like he's suggesting. I think it is an artificial increase in hate through the use of multitudes of bots to give the appearance. And maybe that's the reason behind it is people are using bots to make it seem like, oh, the hatred for VTubers is on the rise. Join in with us and join in with the hatred towards VTubers. They're trying to recruit people into the VTube hater campaign. But I don't think it's actually occurred yet, and it's all just an artificial increase.
Attack these people. I can understand someone leaving a hate comment being like, oh, I don't like you, I don't like your VTuber model, something like that. Fine, whatever, it's just one of those common things you get as a content creator, even if you're not a VTuber. But like the thing is that,
although I will say, all of the comments I get on my model, people that seem to like my model. Every comment I've seen like in my YouTube videos is always like, I love your model. Your model's cute. Your model's beautiful. Your model's sexy. I've gotten only compliments about my model. I love it. And I didn't even have to show my thighs to get that response too.
they're using like full on like bots, and they're using full on like networks to just kind of like absolutely destroy these people. And it's just like why? Like, why would you go to the lengths of doing stuff like that just to harass this one person, this one real life person who has been trying so hard and been trying with this massive subathon? So again, I don't really know, but again, I just want to kind of give you guys an update on this situation and talk about it a little bit more, because again, we have some updates, and obviously it's great to see that Zentraa is back to streaming and things are all good now, hopefully. And obviously I'll keep you guys up to date if there is anything else that does happen. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.
All right. Well, I didn't get as much of an explanation as I wanted, but I am very glad to see that Sen is doing well after this attack, and she's just like, I ain't going fucking anywhere. I'm still doing my thing, and God bless her for it. I'm so thrilled that she's dead, that she's still going as strong as ever. I'm so glad to hear about that.